Hello, crafty friends. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm Beth Roy, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my craft room. Today, we're going to be doing something a little different. So, there is a little light from my computer screen, but hopefully you can see what is happening right now on my screen. Just trying to get to my video. Say good morning if you pop in. And if you're new, let me know where you're watching from so we can get to know you and welcome you into our tribe. Good morning, Jenny. So, I hope you can see what's happening here. There we go. You can kind of tell. If my computer screen was off, I could probably tell a little bit better. So, today, this morning, I want to talk about Halloween. Hello, Linda. Good morning. Let me see if I can make it. I don't know if I can make it darker in here. Let me see. Let me change the brightness of my screen a little bit. There we go. Can you guys see? Hopefully. Okay, good. You can see it. So, I wanted to show you this new, and I have most of the suite, I think. I will show you in the catalog. Thanks, Jenny, for letting me borrow your set. I mentioned this last night if you watched my favorite things and hidden gems from the new September to December mini catalog. We made a decision between three of us that we would kind of share some things, and that way our money goes a little further. I love Halloween sets. Ironically, though, I don't make that many Halloween things. So I always feel like I'm buying things, but I don't use them enough. So it's kind of nice if you have crafty friends nearby that you can share with. But I wanted to point this out because this suite has something so unique, and I feel like it's going to be popular. Or my son has already asked me to buy as many packs as possible of this paper. Good morning, Maggie, and good morning, Vicki. So I am going to pop the lights back on now, and we can talk about this. So let me get everything back to normal. Have you guys raise your hand in the comments or give me a heart if you have seen this glow-in-the-dark paper. I really wish that I could craft in the dark, but I just can't, so. Sorry. I had to get in there to turn my computer back up so I could see. So, I have made this cute card. Isn't this little, well, it could be a cowboy or a cowgirl, okay? Good morning, Deb. So, I stamped onto this glow-in-the-dark paper, and so you can see I stamped on this. This is a very textured surface. This is a specialty paper. So I am going to try to give a couple tips on stamping onto this, but I made a card and what I would call a milk crate or a milk carton treat box. So we're going to make that today. And like I said, I don't use a ton of Halloween themed things, but I do like to give little treats. So I often hear, well, I don't have littles, I don't have kids near me, I don't I don't have any use for Halloween. But I'm telling you, when I lived in a community many years ago, when my older kids were smaller, and it was a huge place. Everybody came there to trick or treat, and we loved it. We decked out our house. Everybody wore costumes. The adults. We had a meal, and then our friends, our kids' friends, and their parents would come. Our families would come, and we would have a meal, and then the guys would take the kids out trick-or-treating while the ladies handed out candy. And let me tell you, I probably spent fortunes every year, but we had so much fun. People would even dress up their dogs. It was so much fun. Now, I didn't do a million treat bags like this, but I did like to make cute treat bags for all my nephews and my niece who would come and trick-or-treat at our house. Now, as we all, our kids got older, we started doing maybe a few different things, and then we moved to the country where we don't have trick-or-treaters. So I totally understand when you think, I don't really have any use for this product. That's one of the reasons why I said, if somebody in your friend group is buying a product, have a craft day. Share your products with each other. This set is so cute. I love it. But I don't know how many times I'll use it. I am going to make some things, though, for my nieces and nephews. My nephews are in high school. They still want treats. And I can't wait to send this card. My niece shows horses, and so I think this little cowgirl is going to be cute. Now, she could be watching this morning, so she may know now that she's getting a card from me, but that's okay. You may, I'm going to take lots of coffee breaks this morning. It's weather change here in Ohio, which means Beth gets the sniffles. So, and my throat gets dry. So if I take constant breaks, I apologize in advance, but that is going to happen. So, let's get started. I kept everything pretty simple, and some stuff I did cut out ahead, but I want to talk about this paper. So, I want you guys to brainstorm some ideas. What are some other things you can do with this paper? I'm going to tell you right now, I have a few ideas. There is a space set in the annual catalog with an astronaut. This paper goes with that. This is only going to be around for a limited time. So my son, as soon as he saw this paper, he saw Miss Jenny's cards. He said, Mom, I need lots of that paper. That paper's cool. And he's right. You could make all kinds of fun kid cards, or even adults. If you sent me a card with some glow-in-the-dark on it, I would gladly accept it and love it. So try to think outside the box. It's a really unique product that Stampin' Up's come out with. So let me show you this suite really quick, and then we're going to dig into making a simple card that you can send. You could even send, maybe you don't like to buy candy. You don't want to mail candy. You could buy a Dairy Queen or an ice cream place, little $5 gift card, or a Starbucks, or something like that, a treat, and send somebody a treat. So maybe your friend needs a treat. I would like a Halloween card. If you want to send me one, send one away. I will gladly love on your cards. So I just think sometimes, we're adults, but we can still have fun. There's still adults. I know adults that love Halloween, that look forward to Halloween, that are over the top Halloween. They want a card from you, okay? They want a card from you. So, this is the suite. And I love this page because, it's a lot, it's the same layout, but it's dark. So all the little glowing bones in your glow-in-the-dark paper really work. So this is cute. Now there are glow-in-the-dark embellishments. I didn't buy those, and guess what? I think I'm gonna buy some because even though they're ghosts and bats, and yes, they're very they're gonna be definitely for Halloween. I just think they're so cute, and I wish I would have gotten those. The paper's cute. I have the paper here. Lots of things you can do with this. So I do have a piece picked out for our card, but I am going to let you kind of take the lead when we make our box. So you guys ready to get started? And ironically, there's no ribbon in this. Now there's this, and they've used the Starry Sky ribbon out of the annual catalog. But guess what? Raise your hand if you have a million spools of retired ribbon, because you know you're a hoarder like all the rest of us crafters, and you buy everything and you don't tend to use it up. So I found this in my stash. It is glitter organdy ribbon that we had who knows when. Probably this was probably a Halloween product that I bought, and it's black with like glittery silver specks in it. Now we do have a white one that has iridescent specks in it too, and I thought this would be cute. So sometimes I don't like the top of my milk carton, or I want a little more. You can tie some ribbon around it and jazz it up. So I grabbed that out because let's use what we have. It's okay to buy new things and add to your collection, but we should also see how it pairs with what we have. And Stampin' Up! Everything coordinates across the board. So if you've bought something, even if this is 2 years old, guess what? It works great with the new stuff. So use it. Now I want to show you in the catalog, see this piece here? This is embossed with white. So they embossed on black paper and then did a die cut. So you can do that too. Not everything has to glow, but it sure is fun. So there's lots of ideas here. Lots and lots of ideas. Super fun. What do you guys think? And I love the little doggy, so he's on my card. So let's get started. We'll do the card first, and then I'll do the box. So my challenge to you is, even if you don't own any Halloween sets, that's fine. Do a fall theme or something that you like. You could use leaves or pumpkins, and I want you to make a little treat just to give to a friend sometime in the next week. I know fall's not here, or let's just say in the next few weeks, and brighten someone's day. That's my challenge. If you choose to accept it, and it doesn't matter who it is. It could be, maybe you have a friend who's a teacher. We're back to school, and let me tell you, life is sometimes rough and challenging, and I just wanted to hide in my craft room last night. Not that it was a terrible week, but it's exhausting. And I'm not even a teacher. I'm just an aide hanging out in there, a helper. So, you know, a treat. So you can use my box idea. And I'm going to tell you, you can adjust some of the dimensions to fit your needs. And just do a treat, or do a card and then pop a gift card in there and say, here's a treat. It could be $5. It doesn't have to be anything over the top. We just want to have someone smile. That's our goal. Deb, I have tons of retired pumpkins, and I always tend to keep them because I love the pumpkins. I've gotten rid of a few, but I've kept some of my favorites. And pumpkins are great. So maybe you're not into Halloween. That is okay. Just do something cute. I don't care if you use flowers. you know, but today I am going to do Halloween. So I don't know if you saw me cut this. I don't even know if I was on screen. I wasn't paying attention. So in this paper pack, we have a sheet. Let me grab my pack here. So this, if you saw my paper share video, it has all the papers. So this has a sheet in it, and you can cut it, and then you cut these apart, and you can use them. So I used this one on my sample card, and I want to use this one. And this one is shown in the catalog as well. So I just cut them apart, and I think I was off screen, so I apologize for that. I was talking and not paying attention, just moving right along. And I grabbed Starry Sky paper. That's what I used here, Starry Sky and Pumpkin Pie. Very Halloween-y colors. But this is a little picket fence scene, and we're going to put some glow-in-the-dark skeletons on here. So I am going to use this one. And we can just do 2, or we can do 1 and a dog, or a dog and a cat, whatever you guys decide. Now you can build a skeleton and it looks like he's moving or dancing around. And this set is so cute. I love the sayings. Eat, shriek, and be scary. No bones about it. You're a sweet friend. Boo to you. That's what I did on my box. Happy Halloween. And bonjour. And that's cute. I do like some play on words. I don't like it for every set, but this is super cute. So there's lots of things to dress up your guy. He has a rose, which I cannot remember the name of that movie. It is, it's a little cartoon. It's like a Day of the Dead kind of thing. And it has a hat. It has, a beret, and a little bow tie, and a little neckerchief scarf. Now the dies, so you'll see, I've got Jenny's set, so she has them all in here. There are so many accessories. There's the cowboy boots, the cowboy hat, or cowgirl, a top hat, what I would call a jazz hat, whatever, fedora, is that what those are called? Some little tap shoes. You can cut the rose, you can cut the bow tie. There's a little heart, and there's a heart stamp too. And then you have the tap cane and a bow tie. You have bats. So if you want some glow-in-the-dark bats, here's the bones. There's a fence, a crypt. You can die cut all your skeleton pieces, your different bats, and then some grass. So you could really make a cute little Halloween scene. Super cute. So I do have the cowboy boots and hat, because that's what we're going to do on our card. So this is, this piece that I cut is 4 by 6, or 4, a little bigger than 4 1/4. So 4 3/8 by 6, which is way too big for my card. So I'm just going to cut some off. And there are some words on the back side of this. It's really cute. But I'm not, the way I'm going to cut it, I don't think I have enough to make a strip. But you could cut it down and then use a strip for the inside if you wanted. I need to score this. I can't tell where I'm at here. Move my cutting blade. So this is a Starry Sky base. And then I want this. I want some of that Starry Sky to show. So you could cut this so that it is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and it fits right on this page. You can see it's a little bit bigger. So this is also great for scrapbooking. You can make little scrapbooking scenes to go with your trick-or-treat pictures if you do trick-or-treat. So I'm going to make this a landscape card. So I want this to be 5 1/4, and I'm going to cut it down so that my Starry Sky shows. And it seems like I'm cutting a ton off, but I'm not. If you don't want to cut your bats off, cut a little bit off of each end. I think that's what I'm going to do. There we go. Good enough. Now I'm going to cut some of the ground off. So I want this to be 4 inches, not 4 1/4. Actually, I'm going to trim a little of the sky too. Because I forgot. I'm putting skeletons on here, so I do want most of the ground. So, oops, I'm trimming it to be, that's fine, 4 by 5 1/4. And I didn't trim it enough to just throw it away. Just throw it away. It's okay. Some of you know my struggle here. I just threw away scraps. Everybody take note. Okay, so this will be like this on my front panel, just like that. And we're going to stamp some pumpkins. Oh, my mind's on fall and pumpkins, and skeletons are fall too, right? I'm going to stamp some skeletons on this. Now, this is textured, so you want to let it dry. I actually let mine dry for about an hour before I cut them, but we don't have that kind of time. So I did bring my heat tool over here somewhere. I'll plug it in, and I'm just going to dry it with my heat tool. So I stamped in basic gray. Do you guys want to use basic gray, or do you want to use a different color? So let me know. I'm going to go ahead and grab out the stamps. I have this guy. Do we want the dog or the cat? Tell me your thoughts. Let's get playing. So I've got my skeleton here. Now I used a dog on this one, but we could change it up. I am going to die cut them. And I think I'm going to do some die cut bats out of this glow paper. And I'm also, on this one, I just stamped the Happy Halloween and then I cut around it with my scissors. So we can do that again, or we could do something smaller like the Bonjour or Boo to You. What do you think? So first I need a color. Do we want to use basic gray, or do we want to change it up and maybe use the Starry Sky color? Who's awake with me this morning? You want to try black? Let's see. Vicki votes basic gray. So let me show you. Where's that piece of paper I cut? So this is really fun. So this is one of the patterned papers, and it has pumpkin pie. I think that's a stamped off version of the Cajun Craze. It has white in there. So this piece of paper that I used for my box here, the background, I just love all the different colored skeletons. So don't be afraid to try it and see if you like it. But you might want to try stamping on something else. Don't stamp right onto your glow-in-the-dark paper until you know what color you want, because this is, it's a specialty paper, so, you know, there's, it's a 6x6, and there's only 8 in a pack, so I can't imagine how this is made, but like I said, I want lots of packs. I just think it's going to be so fun. Anybody else have any preference? All right, Maggie just says stamp a different color. Oh, thank you for the love. Appreciate that, love. I'm going to get bold here. Some of you, sometimes I have to go outside my comfort zone. I'm going to try the Starry Sky. And yes, it's going to show when the lights are on, but when the lights are off, you're just going to see a glow, and it's going to just look dark. So let's try it. Why not? Let's jump in. So I'm just plugging in my heat tool. And of course, I have a million things right next to me, so I need to move those so I don't have a catastrophe here. I forgot to plug this in. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, move my box here. Okay, so I know Vicki, I think Vicki is, she's never afraid to try anything. When she's craft, she's like, let's do it. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp straight down on this. I'm going to let it sit there for a minute, because I really want that ink to get on this textured paper. And it may not look as dark when I pull it away. I haven't used any color on this. I've only used basic gray. So we're all seeing this for the first time together. So you can see it left a lot of ink on my stamp because it has to absorb into this paper. And it doesn't dry right away, so don't touch your skeleton. Now, I'm just stamping off. I want to help my Stampin' Scrub stay clean just a tad longer. So I'm stamping off all that extra ink. Do we want, let's see. Now these are photopolymers, so you can kind of move this around a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. Thank you, Deb. So do we want to do a cat or a dog? Or do we want to do two skeletons? So there's our base. We're going to die cut them and put them on there with some bats and a saying. So really simple card. I'm letting the paper do the work, and all the fun stuff is simple. The glow-in-the-dark paper is going to be the wow. And all you have to do is leave this in the light. So you just leave the top sheet in your pack is going to get the most light. You can lay your sheets out and just let them be under the light, and they'll just charge. While I was crafting last night, I pulled this sheet out so the next sheet would charge, but you can just lay them out, and as long as the lights are on, it's going to charge up that paper so it glows. Good morning, Joan. Well, let's do the cat, and it's just sitting. So I haven't stamped this one yet. I'm going to stamp off once. Yes, cats are so Halloween. And I'm going to put this over here. I'm trying to conserve my paper. Again, it's because it's a specialty paper. And I'm just holding this straight down. I'm trying to let it kind of get into that grit of that paper, because you'll see if you get this paper, it's really a different texture. Okay. Just putting my stamps back here. We will need our skeleton out. I'll just leave him mounted. Okay, so I'm going to stamp what we want to say. And I am going to do it on the glow in the dark so that when, you know, when the lights are off, I have my greeting that glows. I'm going to do some die cut bats, so they don't need stamped. They're just little shapes that I'm going to die cut. And then our skeleton and our cat will glow. So we have to decide, do we want it to say Happy Halloween? So let me turn this over. Do we want to say bonjour, like you're saying hi, or boo to you? These two are, they're okay, but remember, I'm going to stamp them and cut around them. So I'm going to stamp down here so that I can just cut around it. What do you guys think? What do you want your card to say? I'm going to close this for just a second because I also have the cowboy hat and the boots already cut. So we can do a cowboy, or we can leave that off. You guys can vote on that. I just think they're so cute. They are a die. Boo to you. Okay. I've got one vote. I'm just grabbing a couple things while you guys are deciding that. Trying to prep for my box here. And then we're going to finish our card. Vicki, I just used my snips, and these are, I do not cut ribbon with these, so I have a special pair of scissors for my ribbon. So I would not use like the scissors you use to cut your ribbon. But I didn't have any problems cutting it any more than I would of the like our glimmer paper or our foils. So on your trimmer, these types of papers can dull your blade a little bit faster, but I didn't notice any issues with my scissors. So I would just, any scissors that you use for paper, just don't interchange it between the ribbon and your paper. Good morning, Dad. Thanks for joining us. Yes, Maggie, you could definitely stamp with Versamark and emboss it. So if you wanted to emboss even this, you could use your stamp positioner tool, stamp it in a color, clean your stamp it in Versamark. And actually, this stays wet for a little bit, so you could just do clear powder over it and see. If it doesn't work, you could restamp it with the Versamark and then put clear powder on it. You could emboss with white powder on a colored cardstock and but it won't glow. So if you want it to glow, you'll have to use the glow in the dark paper. But you could emboss it. You can emboss the greeting. Definitely. That was in the catalog. They do have a greeting embossed on some colored cardstock with white. They have the bones embossed on a black cardstock. And they used white embossing. So you could definitely do that. It just won't glow. So that is an option. I want my greeting to glow. So I'm going to do it on the paper, the glow in the dark paper. So Joan votes Happy Halloween. Do we have any other greeting votes? Oh, yeah, Jenny, what a great idea. If you have letter dies, you could die cut Boo with your letters. You're not even stamping anything, and they're going to glow. That's an excellent idea. That is an excellent idea. Deb says happy Halloween. So yeah, Maggie, that's a great idea. It just depends on how you want your card to look. So let's do happy Halloween. I mean, I know we did it on this one, but I'm going to cut it apart. So happy Halloween, stamps stacked like this. And then I'm going to cut it apart and adhere it where I want it. Thank you for the love. Everybody give Jenny some love. That was a great idea. And Maggie for embossing. And who else had a good idea? As my husband says, you had a good idea. You had a good idea. Everybody had a good idea. So thanks for sharing. All right, so I am going to grab a block out of here. And you notice I'm stamping on my Stamp and Pierce mat. These are photopolymer, and I don't want it to mess up. So I'm going to use the Starry Sky ink. And I'm just going to stamp straight down. So I'll go back through. If you had a good idea, I know there were lots of ideas shared already. I'm going to be giving a love to each of your comments. So I'm just holding it there. I want it to get into that paper. There we go. And if you did like a die cut square or something, you could even do this effect that I just did on my paper. So you could stamp Happy Halloween, and you could maybe stamp off. I haven't tried it on that paper yet, but you could do that too for a fun effect, like a shadow. Okay, so let me put this back in. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my heat tool just to dry this and make sure it's dry. I don't want anything to smear when I go to die cut it. So cover your ears if the sound is annoying to you. I'm going to let it heat up for a second. I'm going to heat it from the back. I just thought, I don't know if the heat does anything to this paper because I didn't do this earlier. I let it dry for an hour and then I came back. So we'll see. Hopefully the heat, it's kind of thick. You can kind of hear it. It's a thick piece of paper and it's one-sided. So this side's doesn't glow. This side's white. This side has a coating so that it glows. Okay. Now let that cool for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this onto my card front. And then I'm going to die cut those. So what do y'all think? Did you pass over this set in the catalog? Was it on your list? Is it on your maybe list? I know I have one of those. I kind of want things, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I mean, I look at things and wonder, is this a good investment for me? And you should too. Are you going to use the set enough to warrant the cost? That's why I said I love Halloween sets, but then I only make a few things. So it is nice to share. Thank goodness for Crafty Friends. I love Halloween. I really do. I just feel like I don't make enough cards. I don't mail Halloween cards. Let's say that. But I should make some treats and give them away, right? So I may make some sets. We also have in the catalog I showed last night on my favorite things and hidden gems, we have a gift card envelope that you could decorate, and this paper would go really far. You could buy a pack of those, decorate them, and then hand out treats close to Halloween. Or maybe for the first day of fall, if you don't like skeletons, you don't like the Halloween paper, you could do pumpkins and just do some grateful gifts. I'm grateful for you. So that's a cute idea too. And I might do some of those as well. So I know I said hand them out in the next few weeks, but if you say, Beth, I made them and I'm going to hand them out closer to fall or, you know, a get together we're having, that's okay. I just hope to give you some ideas. Okay, I've got to move all this so I can die cut these. Are you guys ready? It looks pretty dry to me. If it's not, we're going to have a smeared skeleton and we're going to live. It'll be okay. Just trying to find where to throw my things here. I may just die cut them right next to me. Is everyone okay with that? So the dies line right up. Let me get them out. Here's my cute little skeleton guy. And the cat. Oh, no worries, Vicky. Trust me, I have been exhausted all week. So, I totally understand going to bed early. I've been going to bed at way early. If you know me, you know I'm not an early to bed person. And I've been in bed just pretty much right after Joe. So, no worries on that. If you missed the live, you can always watch the replay and see my favorite things and the hidden gems that, you know, things you may have missed in the catalog. Sometimes things are hidden on the page because there's so many ideas. And I want to make sure you see all of them and you don't miss something. Especially when things go, you know, out of stock and then we have to wait. It's like this glow-in-the-dark paper. I'm not sure. I don't think it's out of stock, but it could be. I forgot to check. But I do want some. So if it's out of stock and it comes back, guess what I'm stocking up on? It just doesn't go just for Halloween. So it can be, you could make a fun, interactive, even Valentine's card for your kid and have a glow-in-the-dark heart. So, you know, stock up on it before it goes away so that you can use it for fun things in the future. Okay, so, oh, I forgot. I wanted to die cut some bats. So the set has these little dies in it that there are the ones that go with the stamp that cut the stamped image, but these are just like standalone, and that's what I'm going to put in my background. So I'm going to actually die cut them. See this area over here? I'm going to pop these in here and use up this space for things, the standalone. You could even do a heart. You could do, there's a moon and stars, or maybe you want your skeleton to have, you know, a glow-in-the-dark bow tie. So you could use these little spaces to fill up. Don't waste your paper. I'm not throwing that away. So just see where it fits in and use up that extra space. Oh, I think I smeared I did. Look what I did, guys. I didn't realize when I sent it through the first time that my Happy Halloween transferred onto my plate. So look, now we have a halo effect on my Happy Halloween. Oh, I'm just going to leave it. Happy accident. Don't do that. I guess it wasn't dry all the way. The heat tool, it dried it a little bit, but it wasn't dried completely. That's all right. We're going with it. We're just going to use it. It just has a halo. Has a little bit of a halo. That's all right. I wish I'd noticed it, but I didn't. So now you know. Okay. I'm going to have to use my little take your pick tool and poke these guys out. They don't want to come out. I know. And Jenny, I know you told me that about the dry time, but I really thought the heat tool would dry it enough that that wouldn't happen. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. We just have a little bit of a halo. It's like spooky, right? We're making a Halloween card, so no big deal. Now, I am going to have to use liquid glue on these little guys. So the stamped one's a little bit bigger than those, but that's okay. So I have this, and look, my skeletons were fine. We've got this guy and his cat or girl, right? We all have the same skeletons. And I'm just going to cut around this. I'm not worried about perfect here. And I could conserve this and really cut around it and save it, but I'm not going to worry about it. So, my advice really on this, I actually, last time I did my skeletons and let them dry and I did the die cuts and then I did my lettering. So just take your time. Maybe you won't have the time constraint of, you know, doing a live. But if you're copying me and you're using this for your live too, for your customers, that's fine. Just stamp in a different order than I did. Or you have the halo effect. Like I said, I'm not worried about it. I think it kind of just adds to the spookiness of my card. And I'm actually going to cut these apart. Like that. Clean this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we have Happy Halloween. I'm going to put that right on the fence. And then we have our little bats here. Put one down here. Well, let's see. I almost need my take your pick tool just to hang on to it. What do you think? I haven't glued it yet. What do you think about that layout? I'm going to glue it and we're going to get to our box. And our box really doesn't take that long. But we have to decide on a couple things. So I'm going to just use liquid glue. You could use dimensionals, but I'm just going to glue it down. Now, it's textured on the front, but you're okay on the back, but I would still use I would still use a strong adhesive. Oops. Stay there, skeleton. So a fun card. If you want to do a bunch, you could, you know, stamp your skeletons, let them dry, then die cut them. Just be careful that the ink didn't transfer to your cutting plate. I even have it on my fingers. That's okay. It's a craft day for me, so I'm not too worried. It washes. And I like when my letters are not, I like them a little offset a little bit. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Joan. Vicki, did I move it enough? Is that what you meant? So I'm just using a little bit of glue on the middle of my bat here. I don't know if I got it right. Oh, don't stick to me, stick to the paper. Right in the same place. I got glue on my fingers, so my bat has a little purple on him now. Okay, so there's our card. I'm gonna let this sit. At the end, I'm gonna turn the lights off, and we're gonna look at our cards that glow in the dark. Oh, the inside. We're gonna stamp some skeletons for our box. So I'll go ahead and grab a piece for the inside. I'm just using a basic white piece, not doing glow in the dark, but I will use the same colors that I used on the outside. So we're gonna just stamp a skeleton in our Starry Sky color, so he matches. And remember to stamp the same way that the front of your card is. So if you did landscape, make sure you stamp landscape. So that's going to go on the inside. Grab my scrap here. And then I'm going to show you how to make this box. So you can use this formula to make a box for any occasion. I'm just going to put some treats in there. So I'm going to let this dry for a second. It's a dark color. Now, do we want to do our box the same colors? So let me show you. My original box was white. Hopefully I won't have purple all over it, but if I do, that's okay. It's a scary theme. So I can use white, and I used this fun skeleton paper. And I just cut a strip, and I actually have a strip somewhere that fits the front of my box. Oh, there it is. That I already have cut that fits this size. So we can use this paper, or we can choose something different. But what I want to know is, do you want to use a white box? I know, Joan, I always have ink on me. Especially if I'm using dark inks, so I'll have fingerprints all over everything soon. I have wipes here that I normally wipe my fingers off. So we can use this again. We could use this side. It's like a herringbone pattern, but it looks like the bat figure out of the stamp set. So we could use this. If you got my paper share and you're thinking, I don't like skeletons, use this side and add some pumpkins. So I have 3 colors. I have white, basic white. I have Cajun Craze, and I have pumpkin pie. What kind of box would you like to make? Pick a color, and then we're going to pick a pattern. So there's, and this is also in the set. So again, if you got the paper share, you could use this and do pumpkins. You don't have to have skeletons. So if you got the paper and you want to know other ways to use it, you can use that plaid side. Here's a side. This looks almost like a guy set. If you look close, obviously it's bones, but it also reminds me of, we had an embossing folder that looked like this that went with, I think it was a motorcycle or something. Here's a skeleton side. So we could do this pattern. Here's that herringbone, but it's actually bats. So you could do that. Now this side I would use for cards, but you could cut this and put it on your box too. And then we have this fun one that has a moon and some bats all over it, and then a striped starry sky. So I'm going to give you a choice of 2 patterns. We're going to choose one, and we're going to choose the base. Let's see, what do I want to do? So do you guys want to do this skeleton or these bats and moon? The diamond plate. Do you mean that? Let me see. I think she means the bones. Let me find that. Where are they? Oh, it's on the back of this. Is this the one you mean, Vicki? So we could do this one. It's the flip side of this. Or these. So 1. I hope that's what you meant. 2 or 3. So hopefully we can, and then we will pick the base and we will get moving on this box. I'm going to move all my pattern paper. I do have a black circle because that's what I used on this. We don't have to use that. I can cut a different one. Up to you. Okay, let me see my numbers here. I see a lot of 3s. So this is 3. I think everybody's loving this one. Oh, okay, Vicki. I thought you meant that's the pattern you wanted. So what? Diamond plate. Okay, thanks. I wasn't sure what to call that. It was, you know, it reminds me of toolboxes and guy things, whatever that's called. But thank you. I'm always looking for help because I never know what to call things. Okay, so I think everyone picked this. So you're thinking with pumpkin pie. What do you guys think? So we'd have a pumpkin pie box with this patterned paper on it. We could do Cajun Craze with this paper because see the moon, let me put it up there. The moon is Cajun Craze in this paper. You don't have to be matchy-matchy, but you can. There's also black. So remember, I have that black circle that I used. I have this already die cut and ready to go. And I used one of my hidden gems, my seriously new favorite thing, the deckled circle dies. So we're going to use that to build our skeleton. Ooh, I see a lot of Cajun Craze. What do you guys think? So I think white's out, right? You guys don't want to use white. That's fine. We don't have to use white. Okay, so we have a vote here. Do you want pie or Cajun? Pie or Cajun? Oh, I love those deckled circles. And if you watched my video last night, you saw how big they are and how many you get. So they just need to be on your list because seriously, I think they might be the best die set that Stampin' Up! Has come out with. I think Cajun Craze is in the lead. And I'm going to have to grab my notes because I don't want to mess up my box. Okay. Let's see. All right. So any color would really be cute. Be great. I'm going to slide my cards over this way so we can get to stamping. Now, guess what? I have another choice for you. Remember that paper I showed you, and it had the different colored skeletons. What do you think about doing? So this is our box base. This is our patterned paper. Now on my box, I just did patterned paper on one side. You can do them on all your panels if you want it all the way around. Yes, Vicki, I agree. Definitely a good price point for how much you get in the deckled circles. So I'm just going to do the front, but you could do all the sides. Now, Miss Jenny makes wonderful boxes, and she's always doing cute treats, and she does all the sides, and they're very pretty. So I always leave it up to you with how much of your pattern paper you want to use. Maybe you're trying to use it up. Maybe you want to conserve it because you want to make a lot of treats. So I just did the front. You can do all the sides. I'll tell you the measurements. So what do you think? Here's our black circle. So our black circle is going to go on there. Do we want to stamp? And it will be on basic white, but we could do pumpkin pie. It's up to you guys. We could stamp on our skeletons on pumpkin pie, or we can stamp on basic white with Cajun Craze. So we're going to kind of make a cute matchy box. I'm going to let you think on that for a second because we're going to stamp last. So that's your choice. I'm going to show you the measurements for the box. Put that stuff to the side and grab my notebook so I can give you the measurements for the box. Now, I adjusted this box. My original box was like a 2-inch square, so I've adjusted this one a little bit so that it's a little bit longer on the front. So it's actually 3 by 2. And let me move that. I need to bring in my trimmer. I do like to use my Simply scoreboard, but I'm going to do everything on my trimmer today so that if you only have a trimmer, you can still make this project. So I need my piece for my finished box to look like this. I need my cardstock piece to be 10.5 by 8. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off of my 8.5 inch side. So I'm starting with a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. And if you are not doing fall, choose whatever color you want, obviously. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off here because I want this to be 8. And this is by 11, so I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off here because I need 10.5. Okay, so I'm going to, let me scoot my box over here for a second. I got to take the arm out. Hold that. Okay, I'm trying to move some things so my trimmer is level. There we go. Okay, can you guys still see what I'm doing? Okay, so here's my 10.5 inch side. I'm going to move my cutting blade. Whatever you do, don't cut. Ask me how I know to move that out of the way. First, I'm going to go to 3 inches. So I'm on the 10.5 inch side. I'm moving it to 3 inches, and with my scoring blade, that's the light gray one, I'm going to go back and forth a couple times. I want a nice deep line. You don't want it to cut through, but I want it to be easy to fold. Then I'm going to move it to 5. Then I'm going to move it to 8. And then 10. Okay, so that's 3 inches, 5 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches. Now, we're going to turn it. I don't think it matters. Okay. For the bottom, I'm going to score it at 2 inches. I want my bottom to be 2 inches. And I'll show you how to figure out the front of the box, because you could have scored the bottom on this side. I don't remember which way I did it on my original. So it doesn't matter as long as you can figure out where you want the front of your box. I'm going to show you how I do that. So that's 2 inches for the bottom. I'm going to flip it around. This is our top. I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. This makes our little milk carton top. So 1/2 inch and then 1.5. If you want your top to have a little bit, where'd my box go? So if you want this to be a little bit longer, if you want this to go down further, change where you're scoring this. Okay, so I'm doing a 1/2 inch and 1.5, and this is how the top will look. If you want this, if you want more room up here to add ribbon or decorate it, change it. It's just going to make your box a little bit shorter. That's okay. Adjust it to meet your needs. So I'm going to do 1.5, and I'm going to score that. And that just helps me create a fold at the top of my box. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 1.5, and we did 2 inches for the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to cut my paper. So I'm going to go ahead and, while I have my trimmer out, and cut this. Again, you can do all the sides or just the front. Now I know my 3-inch side is going to be the front, and I want this piece to be 2 3/4 inches by 4 1/4. I already know that because I measured this, and this is 4.5. If you want it to go up on your fold, you're going to measure from this score line down to the bottom and adjust. So my original box that I'm copying, I did a couple years ago. I did a Christmas box. My tag just fell off, sorry. And I wanted it to go up on this part of my milk carton box. You're just going to measure this whole thing and adjust your size. And I had cute little tags that were hanging on it, and they fell off. So just putting those back on, throwing this to the side. Okay, so those are my measurements to have this plain. You could also stamp this if you're doing white and you want to say Happy Halloween up here, or you want to put some decorations. You can stamp everything before we assemble the box. So I want this to go this direction. Make sure you're going the right direction. So this piece has to be 2 3/4 inches wide. So I'm going to cut that. Oh, maybe if my trimmer blade came out. There we go. 2 3/4. I'm going to tuck this away for a second. And then it needs to be 4 1/4 inches tall. So see, I have some strips already ready to go. If you wanted your front and your back decorated, you would just cut 2. So this fits on like this. If you want the back decorated, you would cut 2. If you want this side decorated, the dimensions would be 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. So if you want to decorate all 4 sides, those are the dimensions that you would use. Okay, so here's our box. What we need to do now, or I call this a gift bag. I mean, it can be a box, it can be a gift bag, whatever you want to call it. You're just going to score all of your, or I'm sorry, burnish all your score lines. You want these to be really crisp. Now, if you're using, you can use Designer Series paper for this. Just don't score it as much. Make sure you don't rip through your paper, and be careful when you're using your bone folder on it. So this little strip here is what is going to hold our box or our bag together. That's why we need this. This is where our tear and tape's going to go. So this is the bottom of our box. I think I did it backwards than my other one. That's okay. It doesn't matter which side. What you need to know is here is how you're going to adhere your box. So that makes this the back. This panel's the back. This panel's the front. I like my boxes and bags to glue in the back. So when I pull it around and I add adhesive to this, I want this to be in the back. So this is the front, and this will be the flap that folds under and has adhesive on the back side of it. I'm going to show you that in a minute. First, you want to make sure all your score lines are really crisp, and we will cut a few things. So who likes to make bags and boxes? Okay. So here's this. This is going to be our piece that gets adhered to make it all stick together. So I don't need this piece. I'm going to trim this right on my score line. And I like to angle, let me get up here. I like to create a little bit of an angle so it fits together better. Okay. I know Jenny does for sure. She makes excellent boxes. And I like to trim a little extra off. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can. I'm just trimming a little extra off on these bottoms. This is the bottom of our box, and I like it to lay nice and neat. So I think it's called mitering the corners. It's probably a woodworking term, but I do it with my paper. So you don't have to go really far out. I'm just going a little ways, and I'm cutting up. Now this is the bottom. We're not cutting the top. I'm cutting up to that 2-inch score line. Again, I like to just have a little bit of an angle. I'm not cutting right on the line. If you want it a little more, you can. Just take your time and make sure you don't go past that score line. Yeah, Miss Jenny, if you ever get one of her boxes, you are lucky. She makes really cute boxes. My kids always love getting her treats. Me too. Me too. The hard part is not saving all of them. I never want to throw them away. So you can see I'm not cutting it straight. And that's okay. You do it as much as you want. If you don't feel comfortable, go ahead and cut it straight and then trim it down a little bit. But it just helps it fit together a little bit when everything's folding on top of each other. Okay, so I did the bottom. Now, this is the top where the milk crate part forms. So I'm not going to worry about trimming this. You could trim a little corner off if you're worried about it. I'm going to put tear and tape. So when you're making a gift bag or a box, you want strong adhesive. It needs to stay together. I prefer tear and tape. Okay. You can use the Stampin' Seal Plus. I just don't buy that because I don't prefer a tape runner style. You can use liquid glue as well, but make sure that you don't use too much, because if it squishes out, then your box is glued together and you don't want that. So that's why I recommend the tear and tape. So this part is going to get tear and tape, and it folds over like that. Okay. This is the front of my box. Remember, this side is going to get tear and tape because when we fold this and then it's together, so I'm showing you this before. I'm not going to adhere it just yet because we want to decorate it. This goes like this. Okay, this folds in this way, and this will get a strip of tape right here. These two pieces will fold, and then this will have adhesive, the tear and tape on this side, and it holds it all together. And I like all this stuff facing the back of my box. So maybe I'm just being really, really picky. It doesn't really matter as long as this 3-inch piece is on the outside. So if I did it this way, for instance, instead, that's fine too. I just have this weird thing about the open, how the flap opens going toward the front of my box. So could just be me. That's me. Yes, Jenny, Poodles from the UK makes tons of boxes, excellent boxes. I love it. I wish I was good at it. I don't feel very good at it, but I do like it when I do. Joan, I hope you try this. I feel like I'm going to show you how to adhere this, and I feel like it makes it easier. I've definitely done it all the hard ways. But we want to decorate this before we before we adhere it. So I want this to go on here. I think it needs to go the other way. So this is the front of my box, and I'm going to go ahead and glue my things on. It's way too difficult to do it after you adhere it. So trust me on that. Don't do it in that order. So you're going to decorate this whole panel or all the panels that you want decorated. So if you wanted something stamped up here, maybe you want this to say Happy Halloween. Okay. You're going to go ahead and stamp it before you glue your box together. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that. What do you guys think? I'm going to stamp this with Happy Halloween. And I'm going to do it in black. I have black out here. Oh, did we decide how we want our skeleton? Now this one, I did a dog and a skeleton. We can just do a skeleton. We can add the cat. So I'm just stamping Happy Halloween in basic black. And I am having a hard time kind of seeing where that is. That's all right. We're going to go with it, and I'm not going to worry about it. It's a Halloween box. No one's going to judge me if it's not perfect. Happy Halloween. I really like this Happy Halloween. A lot of times the sets don't have a font in it that I like, but I really like this one. Okay, so do we want a Cajun Craze skeleton? So here's the building of it. Yes, some of this is going to get covered up because I have this black deckled circle. We can do more bats. We can do more bats. We could even die cut some out of the black paper and add some 3D bats on here. Let's see. There's a couple bats in here as well. So right now I need to stamp my skeleton so that I can die cut him and get this built so I can show you how to glue it. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. I I think it's so fun. And you know what? You could stamp some bats on your other sides of your box. You can decorate all the sides. It doesn't have to be paper. Okay, what do you guys think? I don't see anyone. I'll just choose if you guys don't want to say. Because I'm thinking a Cajun craze. I think that would look cute. Or even a pumpkin pie. A pumpkin pie. Yes, I use dimensionals on boxes. This piece right here I made separate, and it's on dimensionals. Yes, boxes you are typically hand delivering these, so use as many dimensionals as you want. Now, if you're mailing them, you could probably still use as many as you want because you're going to put it in another box to mail it. So have fun with your box. Have fun decorating them and adding embellishments. If you have the glow-in-the-dark embellishments that come with the suite, you could even add that onto your box. Add some fun, do fun things. Certainly. I'm going to grab some white, paper here. And I'm going to move this for just a second, and I'm going to stamp my skeleton. We're going for it. We're going for Cajun craze. I might even stamp a pumpkin pie one. So there's Cajun craze. There's the stamped off Cajun craze. Let me clean that. I'm going to grab pumpkin pie. I love using dimensionals. I just don't, I'm not a fan when I'm mailing things because it's extra postage. But if you're mailing like a bunch of treat boxes to somebody, and you're putting them in a box to mail, then have fun with it. Have lots of fun with it. Okay, I'm going to clean this guy and do a pumpkin pie skeleton. Now remember, this is just on basic white. I'm not doing a glow in the dark. You could do glow in the dark if you wanted. Maybe you want to make a fun glow in the dark skeleton on your box. That's fun too. I just used basic white. So on this one, I did Boo to You. You could do that again. You guys want to do Boo to You? I used Cajun Craze. We could do black. You could do Bonjour. I still think, actually, let's do Bonjour because I just think that's hilarious. I want to ink this up. Man, I have ink everywhere. That's okay. And I'm just going to cut around it so I'm not worried about if that's perfect. Okay. So let me die cut these really quick. Maybe we want to have a lot of skeletons on our box. And then we're going to be ready to go. What do you think? Are you ready to make some boxes and have some fun decorating? Now that other box, I got that that idea from Jenny, and it is actually holds a little mini wine. Oh, boo. Okay. Sorry, Joan. I just jumped ahead, didn't I? Now remember, you can stamp, I could still stamp boo and it can be right onto my box. Or I could stamp it onto the paper. If your patterned paper is not too busy, you can stamp right onto that patterned paper. So these skeleton colors are kind of mimicking that skeleton paper where they were all different colors of orange. And whenever you see a lighter color and you think, what is that? I don't see that in our color line. It's probably a stamped off second generation color. So you ink it, stamp it, and then stamp it again. Okay, so I have 3 skeletons here. There's my box. Oh, got some little bits in here. And we'll decide which one we like. And I'm going to cut that out. That would be a cute idea, wouldn't it? Let's see here. I need to poke this out. I see these, and they're very, very small, so I don't think it would fit. And I think these are just too skinny. But that would be funny, wouldn't it? I wonder, you know what? We had, excuse me. I was thinking we had a pet set. I'm not sure. I can't find it right now. I know we had a dog punch. It had a heart with it. I was thinking it had a bone, but it wasn't. It was a heart. But we did have a pet set that might have had a bone in the dies, and that would be really cute. I'll have to look for that later and see if it does, and see if it fits this. That would be a great idea. That would be cute, wouldn't it? Thank you, Joan. I know sometimes I feel like I'm in a rush. I know we've been hanging out for a little bit, and I do appreciate when you guys hang out with me on Saturday mornings. So if you're good at drawing a dog bone or a bone, you could do that around this and then just fussy cut it. I'm going to be honest, I'm not very good at that. Actually, I'm going to have to straighten this up. I can't even cut it that way. But I'm just going to cut this kind of tight to my lettering. Like that. I like it because it's just tiny and it's just funny. So we have this. Now I didn't do a cat, but you know what? We could do a couple skeletons. We could do a couple skeletons and put it like that. What do you think? Do you want to do 2 skeletons? It doesn't have to match your card, or you could do a cat and a dog. I can't seem to. So we got some skeletons here saying hi. Oh, yes, Joan. Yes, if you have something on a Cricut, you could do that. Joan, I'm going to admit, I got rid of my Cricut. I wasn't using it enough, and I got rid of it. So you could do the pumpkin pie and the Cajun crazy skeleton. This one's pretty light too. That one works too. And now we're going to kind of adhere everything onto here and build it up and then glue our box. Now, one thing I'll say, I'm going to put this on a dimensional and I'm not gluing it right at this moment. This is my preference. So please do it if you feel comfortable adhering everything with dimensionals at that time, that's fine. I'm going to show you why I do it last, but you can certainly glue everything down, and I do recommend it. Anything that's flat, any stamping you want to do right now, because it's just well, I'm not going to say impossible, but pretty close to impossible once you form your box or your bag. So I'm going to put this on, and I'm just using liquid glue, just like you would use on your card. You don't need tear and tape for this part. And if you need this laid down to kind of see where your skeletons are falling, so you know where to put glue and not put glue, that's fine. I just prefer to do my dimensionals last. So I'm going to put these down, and they hang off a little bit. They hang off of my circle a little bit. So I just used basic black for my circle. Excuse me. Sorry, coffee break, everybody. My goodness. It's getting a little warm down in my room, and that makes me cough more. So I'm going to angle this one up just a tad. Oh, if you had googly eyes, last year we had googly eyes, I think. If you had some googly eyes, this would be funny too. Put googly eyes on your skeleton. Put my bonjour down here. Now I'm going to save this to put the dimensionals on after. So I'm grabbing my tear and tape. So here is where now you could have put this on already before you decorated. It wouldn't have mattered because you're not peeling the backing off just yet. And I'm putting this all the way along my flap. And then remember, we're going to flip it over. So this is my front, and this is going to get adhered right here. And it's okay if you put this on after you adhere this, if you don't remember exactly which way you need it to go. So this is going to go like this, and this is my last flap down. These I'm not going to put glue on. I am going to put some on this just to help secure these. So this one goes first, so the adhesive goes on this side. Again, you can do this after you do your flap. It kind of helps you see where it needs to go. Okay, tear. There we go. And you could use liquid on that part too. So to make this easy, I take this and I fold it over. Okay. I'm going to take off the backing of my tear and tape. If you can't get it off, take your pick tool. Now I'm just going to fold this right over and press like that. That makes it super easy. If you're trying to fumble like this, makes it not fun. Okay, so this one goes first. That's why the tape is on this side. These tuck in, and then this one goes like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is peel this off. Fold it down. And you could put some glue here if you want. I'm going to put my hand on the inside, and I'm going to press on this end. So I'm not worried if this is completely glued because this is going to go on top. Did you guys all see that? So now I'm going to do this last. So if you feel like you don't know which order you're going in or you're not sure, you could fold your flap, put your glue, and it can be liquid if you want it to be. Fold these over and then fold your last one. And you just rub it and make sure that it is adhered. So there is our cute little Halloween box. Now to get this, I just pinch this and I want to push this out. So pinch it and push this out. So it kind of folds in on itself like a milk carton. So push this out, pinch the top. And sometimes you have to play with it a little bit to get it to kind of do what you want it to do. And that's okay. So pinch it. That's why I have this 1/2 inch up here too. It helps me kind of push that box down like that and pop that out. You want it to kind of make a triangle. So I just play with it until I get it how I want it. And you don't have to secure it. You could tie a bow around it, or you could just leave it like that and hand it out. So there's how it looks. And again, if you want this to be longer, just adjust where your score line is. Now I'm going to put dimensionals on this. Somewhere I have dimensionals. And use all of your pieces. I'm just cutting around these. Use all the bits. There we go. And then put this on the front. Fun. So you fill it with candy, you press your little milk carton top down, and then if you wanted, you could add some ribbon. Ooh, yes, Vicki, you could make this container for popcorn balls or a bag of caramel corn. And if you need it to be bigger, you could use food safe bags and tuck them down in here. If you need it to be bigger, you just adjust the size. Okay, so you're just adding how big you want your sides and then a 1/2 inch. You might have to use 12 by 12 paper if you need a bigger box, but we do sell, I believe we sell that in Color Families. Let me make sure we still do. Pretty sure we do. But you know, sometimes things change. Okay. Cardstock. Let's see. Color collections. Yes. So you can buy 12 by 12 in the color collections. And it says you get 2 of each of 10 colors. So there's 20 sheets. So you could buy bigger sizes of the paper if you need a bigger box. Or just use food safe bags and adjust it to fit this size. So you could do a little ribbon here. Remember, this is retired ribbon, but I have it, so use it. You could do a little ribbon and put it around the top. I'm just going to cut some, probably way longer than I need. But once you fill it up with your goodies, then you can, and you can make tags. We have those tailor-made tag dies. You could make some little tags that go on it. I'm just going to do a knot here. I'm getting glitter everywhere. So you could do this and have, I don't know if these will curl. Oh yeah, these are cute, aren't they? So you could do a cute treat in here. I'm trying to curl my ribbon. Might be easier with a pencil because there's glitter flying everywhere. Let's see if this will curl. Kind of. So yeah, you could do some sweet treats for your friends. Like I said, you don't have to use skeletons. So there's our box. Super simple. You could make it as decorative as you want. And that's the beauty about things you're hand delivering, is have fun and make them fun. You could use embellishments, whatever. If you want them to glow in the dark, maybe you're giving them to kids. You could you could use those glow-in-the-dark embellishments or even use the glow-in-the-dark paper. Super fun if you host Halloween parties or fall parties. You could do some fun things with that. Sorry, Vicki. But look, you're going to use things you already have, right? So no worries. You can copy my box and use all the things you already have. Now, here's my original card. I'm going to adhere this on the inside of my card that we made together. So don't forget, give me some love if you had so much fun making these projects or watching me make them. I hope that you use them, even if you use my box formula and you're not doing Halloween. Maybe you're doing fall or birthday gifts or anything, any kind of treat that you want to give. Super fun. So here's my card with my little skeleton friend on the inside. So look, I have 2 cards and 2 treats ready to go. Yes, Vicki, most definitely. I will post dimensions. I changed them. I went back and looked at my video from 2 years ago when I made these. We made these boxes for the wines. And this is the those tailor-made tags. So you can have a lot of fun with this. It's just ribbon and stuff tied around the top to keep it closed if you have something heavy or something you don't want to fall out. Again, this milk crate top, it does pop down, so it's pretty secure. You don't have to use ribbon. So have some fun with it. If you need to buy any of these Stampin' Up! Supplies or you want to grab that glow-in-the-dark paper, you can go to bethroy.stampinup.net, click on the shop now, and you're going to go right to my Stampin' Up! Store. If you use the host code, you do, and you have a $40 order, you do earn a free tutorial and card kit class from me in the mail. So, you guys ready to shut the lights off and see the glowing cards? These are really, they are so fun. So, so fun. Now, I didn't do glowing on my box, but that's okay. So, I'm going to turn all my lights off and turn my computer screen down, and you can see this fun paper. I just love it. Love it, love it. Okay, ready? Can you guys see it glowing? So fun. I have had so much fun making these. If you have any questions or you need any help, feel free to message me. If you need help adjusting your box size, I am happy to help you figure out that starting point. Just let me know. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. I will post dimensions and pictures of the boxes so that you can copy them and make them your own. And don't forget my challenge this week. Give some goodies away, or within the next month or so, make some either cards that will hold gift cards, little treats. It doesn't have to be super expensive. Or if you make homemade caramel corn and you want to share that with your friends, make a cute box for it to go in and put your food safe bag down in your box and share with your friends. Brighten someone's day. Lift somebody up. That's my challenge, which is always my challenge, but I'm just saying it for the fall as we come into a new season here in a couple weeks. Let's just give some love. So, thank you, Maggie. Ooh, yeah, Jenny. The black circle would be cute in the glow paper for a moon. Oh, yeah, definitely. You could do that on your box. Make it fun. I love it. All my paper's glowing all over my desk. I have paper everywhere. So have fun with it. Let me know if you need anything. Joan, I think it's scary, but it's so cute because, it's cute. They're cute little skeletons. So have fun with it. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.